What's up, people? Graphic
Hello,
content, episode 27 with Who Dat, Boss and
and
Chris.
Boston Chris.
Yes, sir. So, been a while. Internet's been crazy. It's still actually not fixed, but I'm happy it's working good enough to do a show because a lot of stuff has happened, but we're only going to touch on a little bit. Um, you know, so hopefully everybody joins, thumbs it up, man. We'll try to get back on track maybe in a couple of weeks. But yeah, man, been a while. Hopefully everybody's doing well. Make sure y'all thumbs it up, and I do appreciate it. We both appreciate it. But I just got some news before we get into X-Men '97, Deadpool 3. I'm excited about all the stuff that we're going. Sony put a bid in to buy Paramount for $26 billion. What are your thoughts, Chad? And what are your thoughts, Chris? Because I don't know what to think myself. But what's
I
up,
mean,
Bleak? Yeah, it's about time. Yeah, yeah. Bleak, if you want to hang out for about an hour, come. I'll drop the link. What's up, Lady Fantastic?
if
K-pop.
they go ahead and buy Paramount, I mean, if that happens, like that changes a lot of things with Sony itself, because Sony themselves don't necessarily have their own. As far as I know, they don't really have a streaming platform per se. They kind of do their own thing. So it's just like if they get into that game too, that's pretty crazy. For them to go ahead and have access to all that different content as far as shows and everything are concerned. The crazy thing I think with that is having that. I guess is great content wise. It's great to be able to say like, oh, we've acquired this. It's just it's another spinning wheel on the like if we're trying to spin the plates on the little sticks. It's another one. It's just like, oh, well, like you weren't really. I mean, they had their movies and stuff like that, but now you have TV content or streaming content you have to make too. So it could be a little tough. Could be a lot of things at once. On top of that, with the video
Mhm,
games, they're still involved in music.
mhm.
So but I mean, would it be cool? Would it be would that help to? I mean, think of it this way: if you have was it the PlayStation like Plus or whatever like that, is that going to add to that? Is it going to be a new bundle where it's just like, oh, you get Paramount content now too because you have a subscription to this?
Yeah,
Well, it's pretty cool.
I think this just and I just saw this news. I actually got alerted about it, so that's why I kind of brought it up because we weren't even going to talk about it, but I think it's a power play by Sony because, like you said, they don't have a streaming service,
Hmm.
and this gives them streaming service. This is like when
Yeah,
Blockbuster Netflix when Blockbuster refused to buy Netflix. Like you're like, we have what you it's the future. You might want to buy it. So Sony is taking
yeah.
that step. And if anybody remembers, I want to say not even 20 years ago. This is probably less than 20 years ago. Probably like probably like 15 years, 15 to 20 years ago, Sony was actually in trouble being going into bankruptcy and actually losing Spider-Man. They were actually contemplating. Actually, no, it wasn't 20 years ago. That was more recent.
Yeah.
Whenever the Spider-Man and Marvel deal, Disney deal happened, the Sony and Marvel Disney deal happened. That's when Sony was in trouble of losing a lot of stuff and going bankruptcy. So they made this deal to save the company, and we got Spider-Man. Which, if I was Marvel slash Disney, I would have said, use have the rights to use Spider-Man and certain characters for any of our Marvel movies. You still can do your movies with them, but we can use them for any. That's what I would have put in
Yeah.
the contract to save their butts. But they thought they were thinking short term.
Yeah.
Um, and but yeah, I think this will help them with the streaming side. They're gonna get a catalog of movies,
Yep.
um, and they're gonna get another studio. So they can actually release two like different types of movies, like Disney actually does, because Disney releases a lot of rated R movies, but it's
Oh
not under
yeah.
the Disney brand. It's not under the
You
Disney
know
brand.
what's I just thought about that too because like I don't have the Paramount thing, but I'm almost positive that was it Halo was on the Halo show was on Paramount, right? So then if Sony buys it, then Sony owns one of Microsoft. Well, it's Activision, I guess now, but like they basically own one of the flagship titles as far as making content. One of their content things. It's like, oh yeah, so we're gonna make a Halo movie, we're gonna do this, and it's all gonna be under Sony. So, keep plugging away and making Halo like a big deal that people love to play it because we're just gonna keep making money from it. That'd be kind of
Yeah, because Paramount is Paramount on Halo.
I mean, I don't know if they own it, but it was on their platform, so I don't know I don't know how that kind of works out. I mean, but if they did, if they ended up getting the content library, then it's like, okay, so now you either have something like Microsoft who could say, or whoever's in charge of it could say, we could still put it on here, or we could try to buy it back.
If
and then
yeah. Well, yeah, I don't know how it all works with that, but if the deal goes through, Sony will put Halo on the big screen.
Yeah,
Halo will get movie treatment from Sony, and they're gonna say that the TV show is not even in the movie continuity. I guarantee that's what's gonna happen.
It's funny. I actually like what Lady had put in. She's saying that like, oh, have you seen that they're gonna do the 4K extended version?
Yeah, I saw that.
Which of Lord of the Rings, which is it's like, what's funny with that is that like, all right, so Lord of the Rings, you have the whole thing, and they also did the Hobbit too, so they're not quite in George Lucas territory, but you mark my words, outside of that, like that show that they had, the Rings of Power and stuff like that, Lord of the Rings is going to end up getting the Star Wars stream, where they're just going to keep releasing the same thing over and over and just keep upscaling as technology gets better. So I mean, nothing wrong with those movies. They're great movies, but it's like they're using the Star Wars formula on you. Well, they're going to get you to buy the same movie 140 times.
Yeah, and to answer like Bleeker, Disney doesn't have the money to get any more IPs at the moment. They overspent on a few properties, which was Star Wars and Fox. They overspent, so they're not going to be buying any more.
Yeah, they're trying to dump some stuff.
Yeah, they're actually trying to get rid of, like, I think ABC. They're actually trying to sell ABC and ESPN. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so they're trying to actually dump a few things.
And it's kind of funny with the ESPN situation, because I think that like people like, oh, like you can have ESPN, like no, you can do it. We'll just kind of hang on to this. So ESPN, wow, I mean, of course, it's a great thing. It was great for them to have in the beginning. The problem is that the licensing for different the rights to all like the big stuff would never specifically go onto something like ESPN, because it's not a network thing. So like the World Series, Stanley Cup, all those always have to be on networks. So you'll see them on NBC, CBS, Fox, something of that nature. So that like basically they can, anybody, no matter what your cable service is, no matter what you have, even if you don't have cable service, if you just have like an antenna or something like that, can get it. So that's one of the tough parts with ESPN, where it's like, even if you have access to like Monday Night Football, great, but the rest of the product is on the regular main major channels, the 4, 5, 7s and Foxes, just because they are going to have access to that for everybody. So that's kind of that's a like really like hard sell for that. So that's why ESPN is kind of like a weight around their neck right now, because it's like we need to dump this. We don't need this anymore.
Yeah, so but yeah, it's gonna be interesting. It's actually not a big bid compared to what I think Disney paid for Fox. I think they paid like $56 billion. It was like 50 something like that.
They paid a lot of money for it.
They paid a lot of money for it. I mean, they got Star Wars at a steal, which was $2 billion.
Yeah,
but
that was funny.
I mean, but I think George Lucas still gets paid. So it's like, yeah, he got $2 billion in like stock for Star Wars, but he's still like, it's like on the books for like regular money, like so it was a steal, but I think he still gets a percentage out of a lot of other things.
Yeah, well, he gets the percentage of it, and he just the headache is gone. I don't have to keep coming up with new stuff. If anybody makes something that's not if people if they make stuff,
that was them.
Exactly. It's like, oh, it wasn't me. I didn't do this anymore. I don't have to worry about it. Oh, like this new stuff sucks. Well, I ain't doing it. We want George back. Yeah, no, I'm retired. I'm good.
$5 billion. That's still not. That's still actually cheap compared to what stuff is going for.
Oh yeah.
Because
I
Star
mean,
Wars universe you're talking about.
at the
You
time,
know,
it was like, oh my god, what a crazy deal. But like, I mean, when you think about it and just think about how much money they made off of just, and then this is prequels, all that.
yeah.
When you
Because
think about how much money they made
when
off
did
of
that
just
happen?
3 movies,
Yeah.
crazy.
What? Yeah. What? I wonder when did that happen? That deal. That was in the 90s.
It was. I want to say
90,
no, it
98,
wasn't the
99?
90s. No, I think it was like around like 2005 or six. It was somewhere in there like that they did that because
That's
it wasn't.
crazy. But
Yeah.
what I'm trying to get at is if he just waits 10 years, it like the amount of money he gets is like 30 billion.
Well,
You know what I mean? Like it's
maybe.
like well, maybe not 10 years, but you could say 2018. If he'd have waited to 2018, he'd have got well more than 5 billion. What they say, $5 billion. You know?
See, the hard part with that is that so if they were willing to do that, maybe just because the thing is like from the time that they had done the prequels and stuff like that, like he wasn't gonna make any other stuff. Like he was done. And so he kind of leveraged them by being like, oh, we want to make more content. We want to be able to say we're gonna make because I mean their initial goal was to make a Star Wars movie every single year from the time they got it. Star Wars movie into a series or something like that, and they've kind of done well with that, and they've kind of loosened that definition because now it's like, okay, we're gonna make a Star Wars property at any time, so it could be a TV show, it could be a movie, it could be a spin-off, it could be a cartoon. So yeah, so they're basically going ahead and being, they're keeping their promise. They're just doing it in many different ways, but I mean, yeah, Star Wars being what it was, is just, I mean, like it was just a license to print money, and they paid for it, they got it, and like I said, George was smart in doing what he did, even though, yeah, if he had held out longer, he probably got more money, but he got rid of the aggravation, and he's still, I mean, he probably worked something in there where he's still set for life off of that 2 billion and other things. I think he's still for a while for a bunch of stuff. He was still a consultant on everything, so it was like they're still paying him for his ideas, just because he had all these manuscripts and everything that he probably wrote, and so it's like,
And then
all right,
a lot of his stuff. Yeah, a lot of his stuff, like well, a lot of stuff. Well, all of the Star Wars stuff says with Lucas Studios or
yeah,
Lucas
yep,
Films, or it says Lucas something. So
yep,
I don't know. I know they own Star Wars and basically everything else, but if they're using Lucas Studios, I wonder if he owns the studio. You know what I mean? Because he could own the studio, but not own Star Wars. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So it's like, and the deal could have been like, well, you just got to use my studio, and he
yeah.
gets money on that too. So
And
it's
he still had plenty of money coming in from Industrial Lights and Magic because they didn't buy that from him at the time, so he had that, and I think he sold off a bunch of that too.
he got the toy rights back too from because
Yeah,
I think Kenner Toys went out of business.
yeah,
So they
yep,
ended up getting the toy rights back as well. So it
yeah.
was like a lot of things. Some Dark Horse
Yeah,
had Star Wars,
5 billion.
Disney brought it back for them. Still Star Wars. Yeah, yes. What is it? He said, "Man, you can't retire."
Are you saying it's
Hey, they got pictures and videos of George Lucas. People just feel like take a picture and it's like, wait, was that George Lucas? Like he's just chilling like a regular
Yeah.
old guy.
My favorite thing that George Lucas ever did, as far as like George Lucas just being George, is that he has a crazy cameo in Beverly Hills Cop 3. It's one of those blink and you miss it things. But he's in Beverly Hills Cop 3. He's at the Wonderworld thing, and he's just kind of chilling in the corner. And Axel Foley like walks by him. I'm like, oh my god, George Lucas has a cameo in this movie, just chilling. It's like that was kind of fun. It's just like he's in a Beverly Hills Cop movie. Like I would have never thought that he would have been in anything like that. Like I would never like. How did they get even just like, oh, like I want you in this movie just as a cameo? Okay, So he gets to kind of hang back and just enjoy life.
He's a greedy people want more. You gotta want more, Susan. You gotta want more. I'm just messing around, but all right, we're gonna if nobody has been up to date on X-Men 97, we're gonna talk a little X-Men
Too bad.
'97. So apologize. We don't have spoiler talk, but X-Men '97 has been great. So we're gonna talk about
Yeah.
that real quick. I don't know if you've seen any of Fallout. I'm a big proponent on Fallout. It
Oh
was
yeah,
very
no, I watched
good.
all of Fallout. I
I'm
watched
on the
whole
last
thing.
episode. I'm on the last episode, and don't people don't kill me because I'm on the last episode. But
So
I've been
what,
very happy, and I think they already got renewed for a season 2.
yeah, no, they're definitely gonna do a second season. Like that show was very good. And I think when it comes to that, if you've played the games, like if you've played Fallout 3 and 4, then watching it, you'll appreciate what they did and how they did things. And you kind of find yourself kind of being in the situation that the character gets themselves into. You could like I know me watching. I'm like, oh my god, I remember when this happened to me. Something like this, something similar happened in the game. I know, and I know exactly how I'd react to this. I know how I'd react to that. So just like when there's all these different situations that pop up, it was cool. The story that they had was really good as far as what's it called? Walter Goggins' character. Like he's the not like he's the ghoul. Yeah, he's the ghoul that walks around with the hat and everything. His story was awesome, and I wanted to see more of it as it kept going. And it reminded me so much of the actual games that I'm like, oh yeah, like this is cool. And it's funny because a friend of mine who never I guess he didn't play Fallout 4 at all. I don't think he played 3 either. He went and he just saw it, like, oh, this is cheap. I'm gonna go buy it and play it. And so now he's playing Fallout 4, which is
I got one of the Fallouts. I can't remember which one it is. I have to look. I do have one of them that I bought. That I have, but I don't remember. It's in my cabinet. It's been so long. Yeah, I not to get deep into it. Everybody should have watched it by now, but I'm on the last episode. I haven't finished it, but I'm happy. It was very good. It kept my attention. It was the episodes that were long, so that was a big plus. I was surprised by 50, 60-minute episodes. I was very surprised.
Yeah, they were good.
The thing that I'm hoping for, and then we can talk X-Men, is that I hope we get a BioShock series now.
So BioShock is
but I don't know who owns it, but
BioShock is done by it's not Bethesda. It's a different thing. So BioShock is very different. It's kind of I'll say it has kind of a similar thing because what's it called? So I think 1 and 2 are kind of connected. But the one
and 2 is definitely connected, and I think one of the later ones is connected to the early ones, but it's not. Yeah, it's like loosely connected.
But the one where it's like it's kind of like instead of it being under the water, it's one where they're like kind of in the sky and stuff. That one's I think completely separate. But BioShock.
I played the one under the water.
Yeah, I played I think number 2. I think I didn't play the first one, but I would say with Fallout, they did a good job with that series. Actually, I think it's Amazon that did. No, Peacock did Twisted Metal. Peacock did a really good job on Twisted Metal, and Amazon has Fallout. So, and they did a good job with that. And the thing that's crazy is that when you play them so, I would say if I had to compare it to the games, I would say this is closer to obviously I think it's closer to the first and second. I don't remember exactly where the third one took place. The fourth one is all about Boston. So if you play the fourth one, it's all Boston. So the whole area is just Boston and everything like that. So it's just it's funny because when I play it, I know these areas. This is I know exactly what this is. So 2K Boston developed BioShock. So that's more of a 2K. It's not Bethesda. So it's different. So I don't know if they would actually do that as a movie series or as a TV series. They could. It's just I don't know really. It has a similar feel of a guy who you're playing as somebody who doesn't quite have the full memories, and you kind of reveal the story as you go. But I think it would be a good series. It just would be it would be super super dark though, like almost like a horror series, because they got that one character, the Big Daddy, who has like the drill hand. That thing's kind of freaky. But there's a couple of ones I think that were
I
kind
remember
of
when you kill the Big Daddy, you were able to get into the Big Daddy. If I'm mistaken.
What was it?
You kill the Big Daddy, and then you can get in the
Well,
outfit.
at one point you do. I think it's in like
I
the
know it
second.
happened. I think it was in the water one. I played the water one. And I
Yeah,
remember that. I remember doing it in the water one.
yeah. Like that was in
Cameron got
yeah.
drunk, man. Cameron got drunk.
I know. I was like, well, when you said in the water, I was like, wait a minute, I'm not in the water. But yeah, no, I remember that, and then it was like you had to at the end of, I think it's like the second one, because you do end up having, like, you end up getting inside the Big Daddy suit and everything like that, and the little girls that you end up rescuing, I think they call them the Little Sisters. Like they feed into the story too, so it's like you can either save them, or you can like harvest their power, and it's one of those things where it's like, depending on how you react, you get the good ending or the bad ending. So if you harvest that power and get powerful real quick, you get the bad ending where everything goes to shit. But it was it was a good game series. So I think it would be kind of a cool horror series. It's just, I think it would be kind of short though, just because I don't think there's that much that you can kind of pack into it as far as like a game, unless they started adding on to different content to it. But
Hey, they probably would. They'd be like Amazon have to do it, but yeah, check Fallout out if you guys haven't seen it. I'm digging it. Like I said, I'm on the last episode, so
no, check it out. It's a good show.
When you have a little kid, I gotta play around watching it, so that's why I haven't finished it. But X-Men '97, we had a few people saying that, like Lady F said, I can't believe she said she's like, I'm so behind on X-Men. It's not even fun. I watch up to episode 5. Lady, I don't know. The episodes are not long, lady. The episodes are not long, Lady F. So I don't know what you're doing, but yeah, man, they're and then they're only like not even 30 minutes. So yeah, so far I've enjoyed X-Men '97. I think they have 2 more episodes left. The last episode left a lot that we're going to be getting a lot. We're basically going to get the human and mutant war. You got a lot of villains involved with the villain for in the X-Men series. At first they told you. At first they reported that Mr. Sinister is the big bad and the only big bad, but he's actually not. So that was actually a good surprise. So it's where they're going with it. I like it. Certain things I wish they didn't. The killing Gambit, but I understand.
Yeah.
And I understand, and I'm just waiting for them to bring back Storm. Look, she'll probably be back next episode. Since somebody said to me, my X-Men. So she'll.
No, I mean, I think they did a good job. The only thing that I mean, them killing off Gambit didn't it, like, as much as people are like, oh man, they did that. It's not. I'll say this much: I don't think it's as bad as what people would think just by hearing it. Like, oh man, they killed them off. Like, that's crazy. Because it's like, in that episode, they do a very good job of really kind of keeping it, keeping the action up. So you really don't know who's gonna get it and who's not. And like, I mean, until you finish that episode, and even start into the next one, like you really don't know, like, who.
You know if it was real, if it would happen, and who died, who's not dead. You still don't learn everything until to finish that off. Really, is not until like recent. Like, a few people you thought were a few people you thought were dead are not dead. So if you don't like spoilers, Lady F, you might want to leave, because we're probably gonna spoil some stuff. Because I thought Emma Frost was dead. Come to find out she's not dead.
No, they did a lot of good stuff, and they did one of the things that, like, and this is something that happens kind of early on, but they did a good job of being like, oh, like if you watch the old one, there were different cameos that would come through. Throughout, like you'd have either like somebody come on screen for a second, or someone just be in an episode and then kind of not be on there again. So they handled that well in the beginning of it with Morph. Like Morph actually ends up showing up in some combat situations, and he uses other people. Like he basically shifts into other people, where it's like, oh, this is cool. So you see, you see this character pop up.
Colossus, you see Colossus, you see Archangel, Psylocke.
So he pops in and you see a bunch of different stuff, and he continues to do stuff like that. So it's pretty cool how they when you use that, and then that's in place, not in place of, but and then they actually have other cameos that just kind of pop in, and you're like, oh wow, like and then they had just some characters show up short-lived, some characters kind of make longer appearances here and there, but they did a good job with it. And I think like it's not done. There's still a couple more episodes left. What I will say, my only apprehension to this, which is good, because in the last episode that they had, they did kind of they did it a couple different times, but they have gone ahead and pulled people that aren't X-Men or even related to the X-Men into the show. So you'll see them and you'll be like, oh wow. Like, and I think they mentioned something along the lines of that, like, they kind of wanted to do more, animated type stuff with other things. Like I think there was some type of mention, something of that, of like a Spider-Man, and it would be cool. Like, oh, like if we kind of
they're thinking about bringing back the Spider-Man show. That's what they're thinking about.
And so what I worry about with that, which is cool, but I worry about the fact that you have X-Men 97, which is being very well received. People really like it. It's really good. And then the thing you have to think about with that is it just the quality of it, which is great, or is it also the fact that it's been 27 years since they put the show on, that people also are like, so it's very good quality, very good show, and it's been so long that people are like, oh, I wanted to see this for the longest time. Like, this is great. I worry that when it becomes more frequent, and then let's say they do give you, more animated shows, and then there's, Spider-Man show comes on, and then
we're gonna get a Spider-Man show. The reason why I say that, because Sony can't do TV, so we're gonna get a Spider-Man TV show. We had the kids, if you know, with Miles and Peter Parker, like the little Spider, they had that going for a good little while. That was on Disney. That was on the Disney Channel. So I think we will get it. But I do like how you said you got little cameos from different. It reminds me of comics. When you're reading a comic, and you're like, oh man, such and such pops up, but he's only on like one page.
Yeah, I'm glad. And I'd be happy to see them do that. Like, I would love to see another Spider-Man animated series. I'd love to see if they did, an Avengers or a Captain America or whatever, and other characters that they
whatever you want to call it,
Yeah, or not even a sample. Just if they just did they had their own animated show, that'd be great. Like I said, the only thing I worry about is that if you're getting these things more frequently, are people going to sit there and start talking down about it? Like, oh, like, well, because the bar, I'll say like this, the bar's way up here now. So I mean, I don't know if that's considered to be necessarily like end game level, but the bar's way up here. They said it way good. It's a good one. And now, if the next show comes out and it's just as good quality, but it's just it's not exactly what I was thinking about, or they got soft because they didn't do this, and this, and this show had more action than that one. It's not as good. It's just like, So I always wonder about that. Is there going to be the other shoe to drop where it's like, well, this ain't as good as that was, and this and that? And it's like, well, I mean, how many things does X-Men 97 have going for it? Quality, the nostalgia factor, the fact that it's been 27 years, and then you start giving people more stuff. I just wonder if there's going to be another, I guess, wave of just, I don't know, disappointment of people that like, oh, we're getting this all the time now, and it's not as good as this one because this one's not as violent as this one, or this one's not, they're not going as deep into this. So it's just like people aren't really going to listen to. It's a different story. It's different characters. Like, this is what they're doing with this. Maybe they don't kill anybody off in the Spider-Man show. Maybe that's only reserved for this one. Maybe the next season of X-Men, no one dies. It just ends up being just more story driven, and you get to see more stuff. Like, is that going to sour people? I don't know. So that's the only thing I worry about is that people are going to kind of set their expectations a little bit too high, want things to kind of continue in that same vein, and once something kind of verges off of that path, people are gonna be like, screw this. So
Yeah. So, yeah, but I'm happy with it. It's
I
something I
am.
do look forward to when it that day happens. So,
Yeah.
only thing I would say, Marvel, no, Disney Plus / Disney, they should be like they knew this was gonna be mildly successful just with the nostalgia. I didn't think they probably didn't know how successful and how good. I guess I don't know. I guess they didn't do any tests on it. But to me, you should have something waiting in the chamber to drop when we're in May, maybe in July or August. Like we shouldn't have to wait too long for something else. And like for
Yeah.
example, I'll give you a perfect example because we know this is done already. We just don't know when it is going to come out. Is Marvel Zombies? We know Marvel Zombie show is done, completed. When are we going to officially get it? We don't know. But
I mean,
I would be like, yeah, I don't want these people to wait too long. Let's, let's keep the
if I was gonna put
people.
my money on it, that would, I mean, for me, I would just be like, okay, so this is gonna be the either like I would say you're looking at fall, and I would say if you're gonna release it, it'd probably be like mid to late September, early October, so it coincides with Halloween. So that's what I would think about it, just because it's a zombie show, it's a horror theme, just like they did with Werewolf by Night. It's just like they put that out right around Halloween and everything like that. So it's just like you're giving someone like a Halloween special. That's
Yeah,
what I'm thinking.
I think what a year later they dropped the color version like around
Yeah,
Halloween, like around
yeah.
Halloween. Which
Yep.
I didn't watch the black and white. I have to say that I
Oh, the
didn't
black
watch
and
the
white
black
was
and white.
awesome.
I watched the colored version and it was awesome. So I'll just say that
I
watched
love
the
the
color
black and white
version.
one just because
So
it
I
reminded
didn't
me
go
of the
back
old
to watch the
Boston.
black. Yeah, I didn't go watch the black and white, but the color version was amazing. That's all I'm gonna say. It's
Yeah,
like
the black and so watching it in black and white, it was good, and it was like it had that old school like you know, I guess you would say like 1950s like monster movie feel to it, and then when it switches over to color, it's not bad, but it's like man, like all right, like it's cool to see it in color, but I wish I had kept that in black and white. It was just fun watching it like that, but
see, I'm the opposite since I didn't see it in black and
yeah,
white. I loved it in color. So it's kind of like, and it's not even saying I'm opposite. I just loved it in color because I didn't watch the black and white. So I'm like, I don't know if I would go back and watch the black and white because I'm kind of like, I wonder if I'm gonna like it since I like the color version so
yeah,
much. It just depends on the person. But yeah,
yeah,
hopefully you don't have to wait. We don't have to wait too long for Marvel Zombies because X-Men '94.
yeah,
Because since this has been good, we know we're getting a season 2. That's a positive for X-Men '97. We know we're getting a season 2, so we know how the next 2 episodes is going to end. We might have another death or two in the next couple episodes, but we're going to have something where it extends into second season. So,
yeah,
yeah, because they've had a lot of stuff happen, but they've done stories with certain characters. I've noticed, and then those characters disappear for like 2 episodes. Like they did a Storm
yeah.
episode dealing with her trying to get her powers back, and was it not what's his name? She was with not Morph, but you know what I'm talking about.
Come on, Forge.
Forge, yeah. So she had that
Yeah,
episode with Forge and stuff like that. So, but she's been gone for like 2 episodes, I want to say. Um, so it's you're gonna get it's gonna be nice to see everybody come back. I guess for the last 2 episodes, and kind of see where they go from here. You know what I mean? Because you have other players that are involved with the storyline, and I'm curious to see how if will they just leave them kind of like in the shadows, i.e., other villains or pretty big villains in other categories like Avengers type villains, Fantastic Four type villain.
yeah.
Uh,
Well,
so,
just Mr. Sinister as himself, like Sinister's been kind of quiet. Like he hasn't really done much of anything.
and I don't think he's gonna die.
No, I don't think so either.
Even if he did, you got a clone. He clones
Yeah,
everything.
yeah,
So I don't think he dies, or even I don't. So I think something's gonna happen with him. He's not happy with the main villain, the real villain.
Yeah.
Because he's like, that's not the deal or something. He's like,
Yeah. He's kind of,
he wants
his name.
Mr.
His
Center
name
wants
is
to.
Mr. Sinister.
Yeah, he wants to actually capture mutants to be sinister and play with their DNA. He doesn't want to kill any
That's
mutants,
the thing. It's
honestly.
I mean, like the main villain should know better, just because the guy's name is Mr. Sinister. He's gonna do something to backstab you at some point, just because that's how he is. He's just he'll work with you until he doesn't need you anymore, and then he's gonna take over and try to make you an experiment. So that's the way I look at like Sinister. It's just like he's just kind of hanging back, and he hasn't even started to make his move yet. He's just kind of just doing his own thing under the radar for now.
Oh, and to let people know, we find out Magneto is really 100% badass. So I'm going to say he is the Omega level mutant of Omega level mutants. At the end of the last episode, you find out. Yeah, you kind of already knew it if you know anything about science and magnetism dealing with the Earth. I'm just going to say it like that. You kind of knew what the stuff he probably could be capable of, and it was kind of nice to see them put that in play. Because it basically proves the point of almost like different levels of Omega level mutants. Because to me, he's like, if they had like tiers 1, 2, and 3 of Omega level, he's on the top. He's on that one. He's on the 1 tier. I would say Storm probably is on the 2 tier. I would say she's close to 1. But
it depends. It depends on what they do and how they do it. Just because,
but
there's a lot of them. There's a lot of Omega level mutants.
Jubilee, we talked about this before. Yeah. Jubilee is technically an Omega level mutant.
Yep.
And they're starting to kind of put that out on her because she even said on one of the episode recently, she said, "Everybody can fly but me." And you're like, "No, you can actually fly. You saw a different version of yourself." Yeah, you saw a different version of yourself, and they weren't flying, but she was kind of like surfing or gliding or whatever you want to call it. Like she was hovering. Yeah, so she could do a lot more.
Yeah, she can do a ton. And it's just like, and then the other one that people don't maybe do or don't know about is Iceman. Iceman is something where
he can create an ice age,
Well, it's not even just that. He basically has the ability to. I think like they said, if you really tap into what he can do, so he can basically freeze the particles. He can change things on an atomic level so much so he could potentially freeze time. He could he's got his whole deal is he could affect things way deeper than what people think, but. He's he's just Iceman, but they never let him tap beyond the top part of his.
They kind of keep everybody down on the movies.
Well, the thing
in cartoons and kind of comics, you kind of know what they can do. Like Jubilee can set fire to the atmosphere if she wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I think the other thing too with Iceman is he would never really do that, but it's if he ever cut loose and wanted to. I remember in one comic he got mad at. As an Ultimate X-Men comic, he got mad at Colossus, and they were arguing and this and that. And he's like, you know what? He's like, say something else to me. I'm gonna show you what temperature steel cracks at. And because he was gonna basically take him and bring his body temperature down so low that he was gonna just basically shatter him. I was like, wow, that's never heard Bobby Drake talk like that to anybody. So
yeah.
But, the show itself is really good, so you should definitely watch it.
And they haven't even tapped into Sunspot's ability either. Because Sunspot, if anybody knows what a Sunspot is, Sunspot, it could be when it's a spot and it's it's cool. That's the coolest part of the sun. But when it explodes, it's the hottest part of the sun, and it can cause damage to the Earth. By affecting electromagneticity, it can knock down satellites. It can do a lot of crap. So I'm wondering how deep they're going to tap into Sunspot as well, because they're kind of
he's still kind of
he's still training. He's still learning. He's still learning.
Yeah. But and that's the thing, because before he would suppress it and be I'm not this, and now he's kind of gotten to the point where he's learning that he is a mutant and then just trying to explore what he can do. So. It's very easy that he could, accidentally do go a little bit too far. Or something happens where
Well, he pretty much
you
did that
get-
when he was a kid. Yeah, when he kid, he burnt down houses. Like,
yeah,
and
it's
he
like,
survived.
yeah, so it's like, oh, he did that by accident, and then it's just like then you look at like a situation where he's under stress, and it's just like what, like a bunch of stuff's happening around him, and he just let's like it's like, oh, like you nuked the entire block, like what did you do? So
Mhm.
it definitely is it's definitely cool, and I'll say this much too, this episode, last episode led into it, but then this episode they kind of show you more with like the Sentinels and like how they kind of progress, and I have to say it's pretty cool where they went with that, how they put that on screen and everything like that, and then just it makes that like the Sentinels are always a real big threat, like as much as you go back to like the original cartoons, it's like, oh, like they're just strong.
It was basically saying AI is a threat too as well. That's what it basically boils down to when you really, because they're talking about Nimrod was mentioned. Just saying. So it's basically AI, Sentinels, and all that combined, and
it was crazy.
They think they know what's best for humanity, and not realizing mutant gene is still humanity, but it's basically an evolution of humanity. That's what the AI can't come to grips with dealing with humans.
Pretty much.
And, so that's what I kind of boil down to it. But I like the show, great show. Can't wait to talk more about it. I think next time we do a graphic content, it'll probably be the last episode. So yeah, that's gonna be cool to kind of do like a recap. But to touch on more mutant news, more mutant stuff. They had another trailer for Deadpool 3, and more news has come out about it. People have been confirmed to not be in the movie. So we know 100% Josh Brolin, Cable, is not in Deadpool 3. We know 100% what's her name? Domino is not in the movie now.
Yeah,
it was kind of hinted, and they kind of say, "Oh," but yeah, those. Well, and we know Domino earlier, but Josh Brolin just came out and said, "Nah, he wish he would have been asked to be in Deadpool 3." So he's claiming he never was asked, which is kind of weird. You got a time travel movie kind of without a time travel guy. And not saying that he had to be in a whole movie. Like he could have been in like portions. Like you're gonna have a lot of cameos already. So it's kind of weird that he's not.
There's that,
especially not the beginning. He could have at least been in the beginning,
Well, the thing that I wonder too with that is if it's more like just they're dealing with time travel with like that, because I mean you see the TVA and stuff like that, so they're trying to deal with it in that way more so than dealing with it where Cable kind of has because then you got to kind of explain like, oh well, where did you get the time slide thing? How did you get the like do you know about the TVA? What's going on with that? So I can kind of understand where they wouldn't include him in, regardless of his ties to Deadpool and everything like that. It's just like, oh, because this makes more like you have to explain more. Like, how did he get this? Where did he come from? Is the TVA looking for him because he's out there with a rogue time machine, and they don't have any way to, what I mean? So it's just like I think that kind of helps not complicate and not have as many questions being asked of just that one thing that lets you focus on what's actually happening. So
yeah, the easiest way they could have explained it though is just saying like like when they do the timelines, it's like, oh yeah, he's supposed to go in he's supposed to get his and go in a time back to the future or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
But he's supposed to do that. That's in every timeline or something. You know what I mean? So
I guess
it could have been easily explained. I'm not saying he needed to be in a whole movie, but like for him not to be even in like the beginning. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of
I mean, I don't know if the X-Men 97 also has a role and a factor into that, where they're just like, we're telling this story this way, so we'll just keep you outside and we'll bring you back at a different time because, I mean, and then too, I mean, maybe it's budgetary, maybe it's just like, dude, we this movie's gonna be big enough, we can't afford to pay you too, because that's where a lot of that might come down to, where it's just like, like we can't afford to pay, or even if we could afford to pay you, it's not for the amount of screen time you're gonna have. It's not worth it for us to put you on for that little amount of time. Like, so it's just like save you for another time. Like you know, and then it's still too. It makes me wonder, like, is he gonna be both? Like, is he gonna be Thanos still if they need another Thanos, or is he also gonna, and on top of that, be Cable on top? Because that's, I don't think they're gonna do tons and tons with Thanos, but they could. And then you have Cable too, so it's like that's a tall order to have two of those characters going at the same time, you know. But I think the one character or the one person that they're like absolutely going to want to know is in it or not is going to be that, like Taylor Swift with Dazzler, which they did say that she's going to be in it, and she's supposed to be premiering a song. So this is going to be a song that she's hasn't released. It's going to be specifically in the movie. So, like I said before, if she's on the screen for any amount of time, that movie's gonna make like $3 billion. And you're gonna tell me now that she's gonna release a new song? Forget it. She's releasing a song within the movie. Like, all the Swifties are gonna come out in force and make that movie a ton of money. So, it's gonna be just ridiculous. I think opening weekend to try to get a ticket to all the Swifties, which is I can't complain, just because the fact is, if they're gonna sit there and pump a lot of money into this movie and help to make other projects, I'm all for
it. And she still could be the other rumor, which is Lady Deadpool. So we don't even know. We don't know what. Only thing we can confirm is what you said. And another thing is that we know there's was it dog pool? We know dog pool's in the movie.
Yep.
And we do know kid pool is in the movie because they actually, like, people are taking pictures with scenes, and you see like a kid pool with Deadpool in a scene in a car. So we're getting multiple Deadpools. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's a lady Deadpool. Because the reason why I say that, because then she could be a one-hitter quitter. If she's like Dazzler, people are gonna be like, "Oh, she's the only one that can be Dazzler for anything X-Men, anything Marvel. She's the only Dazzler." But I think if they do the one-off as Lady Deadpool, they kind of got like a little leeway, and they can be like, Gwenpool. I didn't even think about that.
It's like Gwenpool too, yeah. Well, that's the thing. She doesn't have to necessarily be Dazzler to sing a song. Like, it could be a song that's gonna be on the soundtrack, but
it could be a song that she's being Lady Deadpool and killing people.
That's what I mean. I can see that too. I can see them just like putting a song in the background, but it's a Taylor Swift song that no one's heard before, and here it is for the first time everywhere. And this is before it gets on the radio and everything. So guess what? You go to the movie, you see it, and all of a sudden, so. But everybody's like, all the Swifties are going to go out, and so the Swifties are going to help us out, hopefully, and make it move a lot of money.
It's going to make $1 billion. I'll be right back. That's fine.
Oh no, $1 billion, nothing. I think it's going to make like 3. Like, I mean, like, just based on her movie, based on how popular, how much people have hyped this movie, which I've heard some conflicting things. I've heard some people are very excited about it. Most people, and then there's some people like, there's been clashes and this and that between Ryan Reynolds and this and that, and they're trying to bring things down, and Ryan Reynolds doesn't want to do that. And I mean, the way I look at it is that it's going to be a good movie. It's going to be an R-rated movie, so it's going to be more outside the box than your average Marvel movie's ever been. And just go in and enjoy it, just because the point of the thing is that they're making these movies for us because they're making movies that we like to see, which is great. They're making movies with characters that we like. And, as long as they keep making the superhero movies and they're decent and good, just keep riding that train, because I'm telling you, like, there's enough people that don't like superhero movies that they've gotten the the praise that they have, that they've gotten the top spot that they have for as long as they have. And there's other movies that they want to have taking those top spots. So just be happy that it's there. Go see it, enjoy it. Like, I can tell you that when it comes to the second Joker movie, I don't think I'm going to be all that great of a fan of it just because they're talking about how it's a musical and this and that. And it seems like it's going to be a little bit off from what like the trailer didn't really make me excited to see it at all. It kind of made me like, this is going to be kind of weird. But, you know, as long as they're still making as long as they're making movies that like that, like I'm happy with it. Because I really don't want to go back to like when it was like Sleepless in Seattle and You've Got Mail and, what was it? Knocked Up and all those other like all those like just rom-coms that just like got jammed on our throats in like the late 90s and early 2000s. You don't want that again. I don't want that again. I'll say that much. Like I'd rather at least be like, it's not chick flick central, which if you like those, that's great, and I'm not upset with you if you like. It's just I would rather go out and see a superhero movie than go see a chick flick. That's just the way that I feel about it, and so I am greedy in that way, where it's just like, you know what? You're making movies that are right up my alley right now, and I will ride this train as long as it exists.
Well, I don't want to go too far into stuff, but because I only had like an hour free, and I was kind of testing the internet, and it's still acting up, but I'm happy it was well enough to last. But,
I don't believe Callie at all. Like Callie's comment said, knowing Swifties will be in attendance drives me away. Yeah, right.
I think it drives him there. That's what I think.
No, exactly. Like he'll be sitting there. He'll have a Swiftie hat on. He'll be sitting there like King of the Swifties.
He'll dress up as Gwenpool when he finds out she's Gwenpool.
And funny thing too, I wonder if this has anything to do with that. But the Marvel game, Marvel Snap, is like it's funny because like the next season, which is coming up like next week or whatever like that, for the next month, is all gonna be like Deadpool type stuff. So there's gonna be a Gwenpool. There's more Deadpool characters. I think Copycat or Vanessa, she's gonna be. So it's like so I don't know if that's necessarily gonna be a hint at some characters that may be in the movie, may not be.
Yeah, so I'm excited for it. I would talk about some other stuff that but we don't know 100% about that stuff. Just what McDonald's has released about Captain America. What is it? What he says? I'm not happy. They say cool character on a non-actor to please people who don't care in the first place.
I mean that's true, but you know what though? It's all about putting them.
I mean, how cool is Dazzler? I don't know. I'm not a Dazzler fan, but I am a movie fan. So she could be like every actor was a non-actor at one point because they didn't do anything. So I'm going to give her a shot if she's officially in the movie. I'm going to give her a shot because the scene or scenes she would be in probably not more than 5 minutes. And it probably is going to flow well. But he said, yeah, Disney, they're going to.
I'm just happy that if was going to make more of those movies.
They're making billions on just the parks.
Think of it this way.
They're not hurting for money. Just to let you know, they're making like $3 billion a quarter on the Disney parks.
And Toronto scores first,
and that's the parks, not the movies. But I don't go too deep in it. This Friday we have The Hunt, so definitely check out The Hunt Friday. It should be a lot of fun. I don't even know what the plan is. I don't know who's coming. I don't know what's going on.
I have no idea.
We're going to The Hunt. We might have a pop-up auction. I might do a pop-up auction with Papa Willie or Bleecker. I don't know. We haven't. We just kind of mentioned it, so we might have a pop-up auction Saturday. And then as far as stuff that I'm always around, Sunday you have church with Bleecker. And myself, I dropped a CGC unboxing right before this earlier. Check it out. All I'm going to say is Dustin, Comic Book Chiropractor, did his thing. Or Comic Chiropractor, how it's on Instagram, did his thing. Pressed and cleaned some books, and I got amazing grades. Basically, 8 out of 10 hit above estimates. And only 2 out of 10 hit exactly on estimates. So definitely check out that video. I was pleasantly surprised on that
And the
stuff.
other thing,
Wilrado
Saturday.
says great unboxing. Thanks, Wilrado. So
Yeah.
definitely check it out. So I don't know. You got anything going on, Chris, besides the hunt with us?
No, not really. But the other thing I would say about Saturday, outside of potential pop up, is that it's free comic book day. So
Oh yeah.
everybody who is going to be able to go to your shops, see some artists if they have artists there. Hopefully, get some good deals and enjoy a really fun day. At your local shops. So definitely have some fun doing that, and make sure to show us all the great stuff that you pick up, and that's pretty much it for me as far as anything going on. So hopefully everybody has a great free comic book day. But be sure to check us out on the hunt, and then we'll be looking to see what you guys post for your free comic book day stuff. So I'll be watching I'll be looking at Instagram and everything else. See what
I don't think I'll be getting any free comic book day. So if anybody does get the TMNT free comic book day book, think about me, please. I saw they have one. I could have bought a book to get one, but I didn't want to buy a book just to get one because I have a people I follow on Instagram where I could have got it, but I didn't want to buy any comic books. They didn't have anything I wanted to buy. Say it like that. They didn't have anything I wanted to buy to get it a free comic book day one. So if anybody does get an extra one, TMNT one, definitely hit me up. Shout out to Big Lion Cat. I want to say this before we go. Big Lion Cat, he did get me C2E2 exclusive TMNT 150, which I think it was a foil exclusive. It sold out at C2E2 and it sold out online through the people's website because they only dropped a few of them. But yeah, so shout out to Big Lion Cat. Thank you very much. So check his channel out. He talked about that. And maybe next show we'll talk about some conventions. I know they'll probably be coming up for him and myself. I know especially for myself in the next show because I think I'm a month away for Dallas. So we'll probably talk about that and talk about what I'll be doing there and for Dallas. So definitely stay tuned to the next one in a couple of weeks. So appreciate everybody hanging out. I mean, we had a lot of people to come through. Anybody that stayed at the end, Wolverado, Callie, Lady F, if you're still here. People that popped in really quickly, like Bleeker, Steppo, Susie, K-pop, and William Medina, and Kenneth, and I think Taylor Winder. I haven't seen him in a long time. Thank y'all for dropping through. If I missed you, I apologize. Everybody have a great rest of the day. Good weekend. We'll see you guys on the next show, man. That's all I got to say. I'm excited. Peace.